It's a beautiful day for another DVD walkthrough, so let's take a look at the final shelf, shall we? Before we go into the shelf, I wanted to show it in all its glory. Besides the DVDs over there, I've got the Marcus Phoenix statue from the Gears of War 3 Epic Edition. Also comes with the Octus medal that you see over there, and the backdrop, which you might not see too well because it's covered in stuff, but that backdrop is also from Gears of War 3. And we've also got the Jack Skellington DVD bust from Nightmare Before Christmas, which we will take a look at in a second. And starting from the top over here, we've got George Romero's Diary of the Dead. Diary of the Dead is actually one of my favorite Dead movies that Romero released. Came out in 2007, and when I was vacationing in Germany in 2009, I happened across this DVD. It's a 2-disc edition, but it does have some German writing on the cover, so let's check it out. And there you go, there's the slip for the German 2-disc edition of Diary of the Dead. Pretty cool, and it's got the FSK 18 marking on it as well. I just really like what George did with this. It's incredibly socially aware, I guess you might say. The movie is incredibly aware of its own time and place. George always does that. He always uses the current time and place to tell his story and yeah, tell his little morality tale, I guess you might say. So there's Diary of the Dead. And after that I've got not 1, not 2, but 3 seasons of LA Inc. Bought these DVD seasons from the UK. And yeah, I'm a big fan of LA Inc. I love the show. I'm a big fan of Kat Von D, both as a person and as an artist. She's a tremendous artist in general, and an absolutely marvelous tattoo artist as well. I'm very much interested in tattooing. Only got 1 tattoo myself, but I'm hoping to get plenty more in the future. I think especially the first 2 seasons are awesome. Don't really care for the 3rd one as much. It sort of turned into a soap opera there, but I still think it's pretty cool. They've got some cool tattoos in there. So let's check out the box for the first season, shall we? And there we go. There's the box artwork for the complete first season. Pretty cool. LA Inc. is one of those shows that I can always throw on. Like if you're having a bad day, you can always throw on any episode of the first 2 seasons in particular and just be a whole lot happier. I don't think Kat Von D is gonna win any Mensa awards anytime soon, but she's a really great person. She's very warm, she's got a wonderful laugh, and as I said, she's just a tremendous tattoo artist. And after LA Inc. we've got Double Dare. This is a documentary which came out a few years ago, and it's about 2 stunt women of different generations working in Hollywood and abroad. You've got Zoe Bell in there, among others. You may know Zoe from Death Proof. She played one of the lead roles in that. She was also the main stunt double for Uma Thurman in Kill Bill. Comes highly recommended, this documentary. It's very funny and gives you a nice insight into some of the challenges of not only being a stunt person but being a stunt woman in particular. So check out Double Dare. It's pretty cool. And after that, it's one I picked up just recently. I picked this up yesterday actually, but I've seen it before. It's Michael Jackson, The Life of an Icon. It's a documentary that came out just a year ago or so. And it's a really good documentary. It's not just a sort of a quick tribute, it's really a loving testament to the person and the artist of Michael Jackson. You've got both his family members in there, and you've got yeah, some of the people he knew and worked with, people who he had an influence on throughout his lifetime. And yeah, it's a very, very good documentary. They dispel some of the rumors, they confirm some of the other rumors about him, and yeah, it's really great to see. It covers his entire life, literally from his birth to his death. So it's a very long documentary. I think it's about 2.5 hours long or something like that. If you're wondering why I've got a Michael Jackson documentary, it's because I actually grew up with his music, believe it or not. Bad was one of the first albums I ever heard in my entire life, and yeah, just had a great influence on me, and he was a tremendous artist which is absolutely undeniable. And there we've got him, Marcus Phoenix, defending Sarah from the awful grubs. I am a huge Gears of War fan. I love the Gears of War trilogy. So when the third one came out, I knew I was bound to get the Epic Edition. Took some doing actually. I had to kind of order it, then cancel that first order, then reorder it. But I'm so glad I did, because look at this fantastic statue right here. It also comes with the Octus medal. But now I'm going way off topic, because this is actually a video game, not a movie. But if you want to check this out, you can go to my Facebook galleries, where I've got a lot of photos that you can look at. This is actually the one I wanted to be speaking about. This is the Nightmare Before Christmas DVD bust, which came out a few years ago. And being that my sister is a big Jack Skellington fan and a big Nightmare Before Christmas fan, I knew I had to pick this one up. It's pretty cool, eh? It comes with the movie in 2 discs, I believe. A lot of special features, very cool. And it also comes with this nice bust here, which includes a little Christmas hat and Christmas beard for Jack, which you can put on him during Christmas time, which is cool. And yeah, a booklet in there with some information as well. You might think it's kind of boring to have just a sort of bust standing around, but I think it's a really beautiful bust. He's cool to have him smiling down at you at all times, and it doesn't just stand there actually, it does another thing, which I'll show you.
I believe it was our most horrible yet. Surprised, aren't you? I knew you would be. Call a town meeting and I'll tell everyone all about it. There's got to be a logical way to explain this Christmas thing. To the head of the team, Zero. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Merry Christmas. Ho, 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 ho.
Pretty cool, huh? And it's the final DVD shelf of all the regular DVDs. These are going to be my Region 1 DVDs. I bought these from the US, America, and it's ironic considering I can't watch Region 1 DVDs on my current Blu-ray player, because I've got a Swedish Blu-ray player and that's Region B and Region 2 locked. But I'll get around that problem soon enough. So first off is Pet Sematary, the collector's edition. It's funny because I've got these first 3 movies, Pet Sematary, The Sixth Sense, and The Fly, stacked together, and they've got one thing in common: they all scared the bejesus out of me when I was a kid. I thought Pet Sematary was just so dark and dreary and awful, but I've since read the novel, and I think the novel is far superior to the movie actually. The novel doesn't pull any punches, but the movie kind of does, I think. I think it shouldn't have ended with a Ramones song, for one thing, and it's kind of dated. I mean, some of the effects are not too awesome, but it's still a very spooky film and pretty cool, so I've held on to it. Next up is The Sixth Sense. This is a very cool edition. It's the Vista Series DVD. Let's take a look at it. And there we go. This is the Vista Series DVD edition of The Sixth Sense. Comes highly recommended if you can play Region 1 DVDs. It comes with 2 discs in a beautiful package. Just tremendous work there. Yeah, The Sixth Sense I think is also an incredibly spooky film, very psychological. I do think it's a little bit, again, sort of on the dreary side. I think it's a little bit too somber, I guess you might say. But still a very memorable and spooky film. Can you hear that buzzing? It's getting closer. It's The Fly. David Cronenberg's The Fly, in a beautiful 2-disc set with a black slipcover and a white DVD case. Let's take a look at the DVD case. There we go. It's loose. It's The Fly. As it says, a true Cronenberg masterpiece, I can't agree more. I think this is a fantastic movie, really awesome. Definitely Jeff Goldblum's best as well. I think some of the later effects in the movie have dated somewhat by now, but still fairly tense and horrific psychological body horror movie. Fly is awesome. And completing the Lindsay Lohan collection, it's the Parent Trap Special Double Trouble Edition. I saw this was a widescreen DVD and it had lots of new special features, so I picked that one up. And I actually don't think it's a waste of money. I think it's very, very interesting to see how they kind of cloned Lindsay Lohan back in the day, using the computer technology that we are today used to, which are fairly standard today, but getting a little actress and having her act opposite herself back in 97, 98 was more or less unheard of, I think, and it's very interesting to see how they did that with green screen and body doubles and stuff. So yeah. Next up is Going to Pieces, the rise and fall of the slasher film. Going to Pieces is a very cool documentary. It talks about the slasher film, that particular genre, and its rise and fall and the glory years between 1978 and 1983. So if you're a horror fan, go check out this documentary. Speaking of horror documentaries, it's Halloween 25 Years of Terror. This is a very cool testament to the original Halloween series, the first 8 movies, sorry. I keep forgetting about Resurrection. You can tell this was really fan-made. It's a tribute to the series by the fans, which means it's a little bit on the amateur side, quality-wise, but it's still very insightful and very, very interesting. And if we take a glance at the cover artwork, this is what it looks like. A revealing look at the classic horror series. It also comes with a comic book in there, which is very cool. And it's another fantastic Vista series edition from M. Night Shyamalan, writer-director of The Sixth Sense. It's Unbreakable. I love Unbreakable. I think it's a tremendous movie. Some of Bruce Willis and Samuel L. Jackson's best work since Pulp Fiction, at least. Yeah, I just really love it. It's a really intensely psychological film, very, very interesting. It's kind of like if Superman were a real person, how would he deal with all that power, responsibility? How would he go about living his life? Especially if he had a son as well. This is just a very cool DVD edition, absolutely fantastic. But there's something quite ironic going on here. This is the only DVD movie I have which is broken. Yeah, it came delivered. It was kind of dented. You can see there's a dent up here for one thing, but the actual case itself is also cracked on the inside, which is super duper ironic, I think. But being that I ordered it from the US, I figured, what the hell, I'm not going to replace this, I'm just going to keep it because the discs work. And that's what really matters. But if you're a fan of this movie, I highly suggest you pick up this Vista series. That's going to be your Digipack case on the inside. Look at that, just fantastic. I may do a separate video on this and Sixth Sense as well. So if you want me to do that, drop a comment below and I will definitely make a video about these two. There are a few slasher movies out there as awesome as The Burning. I love The Burning. It's a fantastic slasher movie. It's incredibly well photographed. You got some decent actors in there, and it builds up the characters quite nicely before offing them in violent, bloody manners. It's also got a very cool score, and it's very evocative of early 80s slasher movies. So if you enjoy that type of thing, then you must see The Burning. True horror slasher classic. Next up is Ginger Snaps. This is the Canadian Collector's Edition. I'm so lucky to have gotten a copy of this because this is a fantastic DVD of an absolutely wonderful movie. And there we have it. This is the fantastic collector's edition of Ginger Snaps, one of the most marvelous movies ever made. And on that note, I've also got the sequel, Ginger Snaps 2 Unleashed. It only dies if you do. Now there's a happy premise for you. Also a fantastic, absolutely marvelous movie. After that we got a documentary, it's Metal, a Headbanger's Journey. A very cool documentary about heavy metal and the hard rock scene in general. It's made by Sam Dunn, a Canadian anthropologist. And you got a lot of tremendous names in there. A lot of cool, both old-time bands and new bands talk about their love for the music, their careers, and what makes metal so special. And next up, it's Wonder Woman, baby. These 3 seasons, the complete series, were graciously gifted to me by Paul. Check out his channel, Alex7000. I love 70s television series for some reason. They've got such a charm about them, which you can't find in today's TV series. And Wonder Woman just epitomizes all of that. The good wholesome fun, nice sort of morality of everything that is right with America. And Linda Carter just embodies that perfectly. So even though it's quite cheesy by today's standards, I think Wonder Woman still holds up. It's just a very fun and rare television series, so check it out. But it can't all be fun and games. So next up is another awesome TV series. It's Metalocalypse, the first season DVD from the US. Metalocalypse has begun. This is a hysterical satire cartoon show about a heavy metal band, a death metal band called Death Clock, who conquer the world with their music. They are the driving force of the universe, and they're always being stopped by the government. What's cool about the show is that it not only holds up humor-wise, it's also got tremendous music. And I've got both of the first 2 albums, the Death Album 1 and the Death Album 2 special edition. But unfortunately I don't have any of the other seasons. But I have seen the first 3 seasons of this show, and I should be checking out the 4th one soon. What's funny about this is I love the way they portray Scandinavians, like Squiskar Squiggle, the guitarist, and Toki Wartooth, the Norwegian drummer. And I used to look like Squiskar Squiggle just a few years ago, like literally I would have the tank top, the long blonde hair and everything. So yeah, that's pretty funny, man. Don't think it's escaped anyone that I'm a huge Friday the 13th fan. So I've got all 8 of the new deluxe editions of Friday the 13th from the US. Part 1, Part 2, Part 3 in 3D, Part 4, the final chapter, Part 5, A New Beginning, Part 6, Jason Lives, Part 7, The New Blood, and Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan. Now, all of these come in marvelous lenticular slips. Let me see if I can get the effect going here. And no collection would be complete without Jason Goes to Hell. It contains both the R-rated and unrated versions. This was a gift to me, so thank you very much to the person who sent this to me. This movie is not great by any means, but I think the unrated cut is very cool. Adds a lot more sex and gore in there, which almost makes up for the awful, awful story. What's that, you say? More Friday the 13th? Why, yes indeed. If you're a Jason fan, you're a Jason fan. And this is the first box set I picked up. But it's not the first DVDs I picked up. I've had these in several incarnations. Remember, I had them taped from television back in the day. Then I bought the first VHS copies, which were awful, censored, terrible. Then I bought the first Swedish DVDs. Then I bought this box set. Then I bought the deluxe editions. So I've had them a couple of times. But this is a tremendous box set. It's a slim box set. It houses all 8 movies, all the first 8 movies I should say. And it's pretty cool because it's got 2 movies on one disc, which some people hate. But I kind of like it that way, because if you're having a marathon, then you can switch movies without getting up. So it's good for lazy people like me. And this is just an absolutely fantastic cover art box set, isn't it? Cover artwork is just fantastic. And another one, the 2-disc splatter edition of His Name Was Jason. The cover artwork is not quite as cool on this one. I think they kind of failed here, but it's a cool documentary, very, very cool. It's a lot of fun. It's not quite as good as Never Sleep Again, but I hear they're working on a new one. The makers of Never Sleep Again, the Elm Street documentary, are working on a new Friday the 13th documentary, which I'm pretty sure is going to top this one. But if you're a fan, you should definitely check this out, give it a go. It's not the most serious documentary in the world, but it's a lot of fun, and it's very cool to see a lot of familiar faces in there. And run for your lives, people. It's Rob Zombie's Halloween. I have 2 different editions of this currently. The theatrical version, a 2-disc special edition, and the unrated 3-disc collector's edition. Very, very cool. Now the reason I bought both of these is because there's an alternate escape scene in the theatrical cut. Like if you ask which version I prefer, I'm always gonna go with the unrated director's cut, which is like 2 hours long, I believe. But you do have the alternate escape scene. It doesn't appear anywhere except in the theatrical cut, so that's why I've got that one. I'm looking for this version on Blu-ray, and I believe it only to be available through Australia as a Region B version with all the special features and all that stuff. But I think I'm still gonna hang on to this because I really like this slipcover. It's tremendous. And Rob Zombie's Halloween is a very interesting movie. It's not great, but it's pretty good, and it's very, very interesting. I think his take on it is tremendously different. Like, I think he based it largely on his own life growing up, and that just makes it a unique experience. And here's a Canadian slasher movie from the early 80s. It's My Bloody Valentine, special edition. Cross your heart and hope to die. I heard that they were putting this version out where they actually found old footage, old censored gore footage, and they spliced it back into the movie, which is pretty cool. So I knew I had to have this one, and it's very, very cool. The only downside to it is that the footage that they spliced back doesn't quite hold up to the rest of the movie. So there's a bit of a fluctuation quality-wise, which is kind of sad. Next up, it's probably one of the best documentaries I've ever seen. It's Never Sleep Again, the Elm Street Legacy, the Ultimate Nightmare Documentary. This was also a gift from Paul, Alex7000. Thank you so much for this one. Fantastic documentary. Covers the entire series of the first 7, well, sort of 8, if you want to count like that, Nightmare on Elm Street films. It's a very in-depth documentary. It's like 4 hours long, and almost everyone involved in these movies has their say, and remember them very fondly. It's a tremendous documentary if you're a horror fan, and it's a given if you're an Elm Street fan. With the exception of Johnny Depp, I think you got pretty much everyone in there. This also comes, incredibly enough, with a signed poster from Heather Langenkamp. I'll be doing some photos of that, so you can check it out in my galleries later. And to wrap things up on this shelf over here, I've got 2 more horror movies. It's The Prowler and Night of the Living Dead. 2 classics. The Prowler is a classic slasher movie, very violent, very gory, very cool, from the early 80s. I've also got a pretty cool Fright Tracks shirt based on this one, which I may show in the future. And Night of the Living Dead, of course, is the original classic. This comes both colorized and in black and white, and I knew I had to have the original version. I didn't just want to have the director's cut, or whatever it's called, you know, the anniversary edition, where they spliced in a lot of unnecessary scenes, but you had to have the original version, and that's why I've got this one. And that concludes my DVD shelves. That was almost my entire DVD walkthrough. I've got one more surprise for you guys, so I hope you'll check that one out. But this has been all of my DVD movies. Thank you so much for watching. I will be back for sure. I've got a lot more to show you. Picked up a lot of Blu-rays, and I've got some more coming in soon. So I will be doing a Blu-ray update about those pretty soon. Also remember to check out the little surprise, because we've got one more case to check out. Thanks for watching. See ya.